Have you ever thought about making your own podcast? It seems like that's the in thing right now. Well, do I have the people for you? Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and extremely easy to use. And now, Anchor will match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid for podcasting right away. To get started, go to anchor.fm/start. Once again, that's anchor.fm/start. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jay Stevens Podcast. This is episode 9, and once again, thank you for listening and downloading another episode of the podcast. Remember to always subscribe, rate, and review. It helps people when they're searching for different podcasts to listen to come across this one. And then also remember to get the word out via word of mouth. If you like something, or if we like something, we are more willing and somewhat wired to tell other people about the things that we enjoy, in our life. So no matter if this is your first episode, if you've been listening since episode 1, be sure to let people know about the podcast. I hope everyone had a great, fun, safe, enjoyable 4th of July holiday with their family and friends. I saw some pool parties people are having some fun in the sun. Saw lots of barbecues, and of course, to cap the night off, or maybe to start the day. Depends on how you do things with fireworks. I saw lots and lots of Snapchats with fireworks, stuff on TV with fireworks, things like that. And it seemed like everyone was having a lot of fun. This 4th of July, my dad cooked like he always does. Memorial Day, Labor Day, and then this holiday, the 4th of July, are known as what? And my dad knows that those are barbecuing, those are grilling, cooking holidays. And he looks forward to that. He always asks my brother and I what we want to eat. Now, granted, my dad knows us. He raised us. He's been in our life every step of the way. So he knows exactly what we want. But I think if we wanted to change things up, he would make sure to get that thing that we wanted this time that was a little different than normal. He's perfectly fine with that. And he just enjoys making us happy and making sure we have more than enough food to eat. On Thursday, I pulled up to my parents' house, and I've been cutting my parents' grass every single week. This summer, as my dad's getting up there, my dad can't cut the grass, but I figured, Dad, if I can do it just to help you out with you being really busy, I don't mind cutting the grass for you. So I just told him, yeah, I'll cut the grass. I'll let you know when I'll be there. I'll get it done and I'll leave. That's basically been my routine throughout the entire summer. Well, this time, my dad was out in the back cooking, and I went into the house, saw my mom. My mom and I talked a little bit, and I could tell that she was happy to see me. She's home all day. My mom's very busy. My mom is always doing something. So with her still in recovery from her knee replacement surgery, she is still not used to being home all day. And I don't think she would ever get used to it, because I know right now she is itching to get back out and doing the activities that she does on a regular basis. But I got there, talked to my mom for a little bit. I had a quick talk. I was there for less than 5 minutes. She already given me another task to do with the yard work or being outside. I didn't mind. I don't care. I figured I'm there. If I'm already going to be outside doing something to help the family, why one more task will not hurt me. She said, yeah, can you get a hose and spray off the porch for me? There's some leaves on there and things like that. I want to get that sprayed off so it looks a whole lot better. Sure, not a big deal. Went to the hose. The hose hasn't been used in a while, so I started untangling that. By the time I got that hose untangled and I was ready to spray, behind me, I had that, that sense when you feel there's someone looking at you, but you don't know who it is because you're facing the opposite way. Well, I had that feeling at that point in time. So I turned around, and next thing I know, I saw my dad. Now, my dad's behind me smiling. Big smile. Huge smile. I'm like, okay, Dad, cool. I mean, why are you smiling so much for? He's like, well, thank you. Thanks for helping us out. I really appreciate it. I know your mother really appreciates that. Smiling once again. So I'm like, well, man, what's going on, man? It's just spraying the porch. It ain't that big of a deal. I'm here about to cut the grass. I'll do this, cut the grass, go inside and eat. See, sounds like a good plan to me. Well, little did I know, my mom had already asked my dad to do it, and I guess my dad hadn't done it at the time when she asked him, or he had put it off. So my dad found out that I was doing the thing that he was asked to do, and I think that's kind of why his smile was so big. Like, that's my boy. That's my boy. His mom was asking him to do something, and he's coming through. And I think he appreciated me doing something else for him, where I had no idea that I was helping him out to begin with. But yeah, that was fun. Cut the grass. I was able to get some good food. My dad made more than enough food, so I was able to bring more food than I expected back to my apartment when I left their house that day. But the 4th of July, we had great weather. We had a lot of rain here in Indiana. That rain has held off, even though it's been rain in the forecast. And I even thought that on the 4th there was going to be rain that day, but the rain held off. We had a beautiful day all day. Hot temperatures, but it was okay. Summer, it's hot. We expected for it to be hot, so that's perfectly fine. Not nothing wrong with that. But yeah, 4th of July, I hope you had fun. I enjoyed living in a country where we have the freedom to do the things that we do on a regular basis, and we do not have the pressures or the chance of the government or being punished by the government for doing things that they do not see fit for us to do. 4th of July was fun. Summer's been a blast so far. Hope everyone's having fun. I know school's coming right around the corner, so those of you that have kids, prepare. I know you're preparing for the kids to go back to school, and you have homework and getting them up early, things of that nature, things like that. Let's go ahead and take a trip to the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. The Clippers side of the Staples Center, and we all had mixed reports coming out Thursday and also Friday afternoon about where Kawhi was going. But Kawhi chose to go to the Clippers. And man, oh man, did he fool all of us wrong, myself included. A few days after free agency started, a lot of people were wondering what Kawhi was going to do. And they started anticipating, putting their own ideas together, saying, oh, he's going to stay in Toronto. They just won a championship. He's the finals MVP. They have a good thing going. He's going to stay in Toronto. Then there are people that said, oh, he's going to go to L.A. He's from L.A. Well, if you go to L.A., most people assume you're going to the Lakers. Well, he's going to go to the Lakers. They got LeBron. They got AD. They have the ability to get him, those three together. Nobody will be able to beat him. Then there's that other team in Los Angeles, the Clippers. And people kind of heard rumblings that, hey, maybe he'll go to the Clippers. Then when they evaluate the roster and say what they have, where they have been lately, not your really ideal fit as far as where the current roster stands. They have had a better record over the past 5 or 6 years than the Lakers. The Lakers have been downright trash. But the Clippers' current roster, not the ideal roster you would look at to say, oh, I'm Kawhi Leonard. I'm going to leave where I am to go play for you. Well, little did we know Kawhi would end up picking the Clippers. Friday evening, I was watching Stranger Things. Stranger Things Season 3 came out Thursday on the 4th of July. I had every intent to watch it on that day, but for some reason, it didn't happen. I think the festivities of the 4th kind of postponed my desire to watch that show. So I ended up watching it on Friday. So Friday evening, I believe like 1:30 in the morning, Saturday morning at this time, I finished one episode, was going to go to the next one, and was down to watch another episode and then go to sleep. Well, about 1:53 in the morning, I look at my phone, see I got a notification from Shams that works for Yahoo Sports, who was trained under Woj, and it said that Kawhi had made his decision and he was going to the Clippers. And I'm thinking, excuse me, hold on. Let's pause this. Let's rewind this. Let me look at this again. So literally, no exaggeration. I paused, I stopped the show, and my eyes were trying to focus to figure out what exactly was going on, if I was reading this correctly. And best believe I read it correctly, because I went to Twitter. Not only did Shams tweet it, Chris Haynes tweeted it as well, and two different people reported the same thing. Whoa chopped in a little bit later. They all three said within a 60-second span of each other. It's really, really quick. But Kawhi's going to the Clippers. And on the surface, I thought he was crazy. I thought, why would you go to the Clippers? Of all teams, why would you choose them? You have a good thing going in Toronto. And the Lakers, I kind of understood why he didn't go to the Lakers, even though they have LeBron, who's getting older, Anthony Davis, who's a great talent, one of the best 4 or 5s, wherever you want to put him in the NBA. But he does get hurt off and on, hasn't played a full season in a while. due to injury, not due to like load management, quote unquote load management, but literally due to injury. The coach isn't the ideal coach for someone that's saying, I want to play for him. I want to play for him because he's a winner. Frank Vogel, he did good in Indiana. They let him go and down to Orlando. A lot of people forgot that he was even a coach in the league because Orlando was absolutely nothing. But I kind of understood when I was comparing I kind of understood the more I thought about it compared the Lakers, the Clippers, and then the Raptors. I kind of understood why exactly he would choose the Clippers to go to as far as the organization. But the Clippers, it's still mind-boggling in my mind that he chose the Clippers. Remember, I'm watching Stranger Things. Season 3 just came out. Phenomenal. If you have not seen that yet, I recommend that you watch that. Now, you may not be, if you haven't seen it at all, started season 1, you may say, ugh, this isn't for me. What is this big bug thing walking around that's growing? Well, I do understand that, but if you can watch it, best believe, go back season 1, and then watch season 1, season 2. You'll understand what's going on when you get to season 3. To me, season 3 is the best of them all. But Stranger Things stopped it, went and started, and then Kawhi made his thing. And then the crazy thing about that was I forgot about the show. I completely forgot that the show was even on, and ended up turning it off, went to SportsCenter to see what SportsCenter was saying. Well, they ended up pulling different reporters in, Rachel Nichols being one of them. She was already up via the Summer League in Vegas, so it wasn't a problem for her to come on the show and start talking. I believe they woke Stephen A. Smith up, and normally when Stephen A. is on SportsCenter, we see his face. There's a camera in front of him, so we can see him. He can see the SportsCenter anchor, and they can have a good back and forth going on. But this time, granted, it's about 2 a.m. at this time, 2 a.m., 2:15, 2:30 in the morning. Stephen A. is not waking up, not getting out of bed. I'm pretty sure my man just stayed in bed, got on the phone, said what he had to say for his 5-minute segment, and then went back to sleep. Stephen A., he's putting in crazy hours, doing a lot of things for the network right now. Those are probably obligations when he re-signed his new contract, but my man needs sleep just like everybody else. I don't blame him for not showing his face Friday evening, Saturday morning. But Kawhi goes there, and at first you're thinking Kawhi goes there and he is by himself. There's no other star there. There's no one else. I mean, gosh, currently constructed, you would think, hey, man, go back to Toronto. At least you got Kyle Lowry. He's not a star. He may be a star. He's an all-star, but he's not one of those guys where you think, oh, I need to team up with him so we can win. He's one of those guys that's on your list of players that you want to team up with when you generally need 2 all-stars in this league to succeed and to win. That's kind of how things are. But no, he ended up not going with him. He ended up going to the Clippers, and then shortly after Kawhi said he was going to the Clippers, Paul George was announced. It was announced that Paul George got traded from the Thunder to the Clippers. I'm thinking, okay, it's all starting to make sense now. PG, not loyal at all. Talk about that here in a little bit. PG, known for not being loyal as a Pacers fan. Literally one day, he said he's going to stay there. The next week, he left. OKC, things are going good with him and Russ. Now, granted, the whole thing with him wanting to leave OKC, they said that there was tension, but when you're able to go from Oklahoma City, where they haven't won anything since they've been there, and then go to play in LA, where you're from, play for the team that you rooted for as a kid, and play with the 2-time Finals MVP, Finals MVP of the previous year as well. Yeah, I best believe the Clippers sounds a whole lot better than staying here with the Thunder. The ironic thing about Paul George getting traded to the Clippers, Paul George used to date Doc Rivers' daughter. And this word, don't know how true this is, but I have heard there's rumors that Paul George, when he was dating Doc Rivers' daughter, the former volleyball player at the University of Florida, he ended up cheating on her, cheated on her with his now baby mama. So you're playing for your ex-girlfriend's dad, who you cheated on with your now baby mama. You now have 2 kids, and let me know how that's going to be, PG. I don't know. I've never been in that situation. Nothing sounds too pleasant to me, but let me know how that goes for you. Kind of weird to think about that he's going to be playing for his ex's dad. But PG, the trade's in your favor. You've been wanting to go home, wanting to go back to LA for quite a while. You get your wish. Maybe you're playing for the team you rooted for as a kid. Yeah, you get your wish, but you may have to sweeten Pops up a little bit, so he doesn't remember so he doesn't bring up what you did to his daughter too often throughout the season. Now, granted, even if you didn't cheat, you're still playing for your ex's dad. That still seems a little uncomfortable for me. Now, I don't know what's worse, him playing for his ex's dad or Austin Rivers being cut by his dad. Two very unfortunate situations, but all in all, I do understand that. I do think when Kawhi was figuring out or thinking not only he wanted to play with a star, but what team was the best fit for him when he was going to pull a star to play with him, he looked at the ownership. I don't know who the owner is of the Raptors. You never talk about him. He's kind of one of those no-name guys that lets other guys do everything for him. But Steve Ballmer, a great guy from everything I hear, everything I see. He's always smiling, always in a good mood. An owner that seems like he'd be an easy guy to work for. He lets you do your thing. He supports you as you help the team win. You do your role, and things look good. Doc Rivers, the only coach there that's of the three that I would say has a long tenure, has not only been an NBA player, but also been an NBA coach for quite a long time. And in Doc, you see a guy that has a great track record, not only with current players, but also former players as well, well respected throughout the league. A guy that some people say it's easy for players to play for because he is there for you off the court. He has done a great job of building chemistry off the court, organizing team outings so that you're not just going on the court the guy you don't get along with off the court. He's done a great job of putting guys together and helping mold different personalities so everyone gets along. Also, future roster moves, the current roster moves. How in the world would the Raptors be able to bring somebody else there when it doesn't really sound right that other free agents will want to go to Toronto? Remember, Kawhi got traded to Toronto. It wasn't something out of his own free will. He got traded. Now, granted, he forced his way out of San Antonio, and San Antonio had to work with a team that had an asset that they wanted. But he still got traded to not San Antonio. He got traded to Toronto. Jerry West, an executive that a lot of people have, that is well respected throughout the NBA, been executive of the year twice. He won, I believe, 5 championships with the Lakers as an executive in the 80s. He was executive of the first Lakers championship in 2000. And then also, a lot of people may forget this, but he did help orchestrate and form this current Golden State run that they have been on. Now, that run may be over. No one really knows. All I know is Jerry West is known for building teams and pushing and building chemistry and helping find players that mesh and gel well together to orchestrate and find a team that can win a championship. 8 in total as an executive. That's insane. 2-time executive of the year. That's insane. And all of a sudden for you to pull off this crazy of a signing where you get Kawhi to come to you and then you get the Thunder to do a trade with you. I've always been amazed when teams do trades inside their conference. It kind of defeats the purpose of you getting someone away. If it's a player that's really, really good, why would you trade him in the conference and risk the chance of you not getting into the playoffs? That's just my thought process, but I do like where everything is going. Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers. I like everything. I like that he's going out there. I do believe that the Lakers and Clippers will have somewhat of a rivalry, as Kawhi is one of those guys that are always giving LeBron fits, and his fits that he gives him, it's visible. Not just in LeBron's actions, but his facial expressions. LeBron knows that Kawhi provides fits, and hopefully those same fits happen. He disrupts his flow throughout the season when they play 4 times in Staples Center. I am looking forward, hopefully, whoever orchestrates and puts the NBA schedule together, I sure hope that they put these two teams together to play on Christmas Day. I saw one person say, Clippers and Thunder on Christmas, and then Lakers and Pelicans on Christmas. Excuse me. Those aren't sexy matchups. You want to see Russ play by himself against the Clippers? They'll get waxed. They'll get pushed out of the gym. It'll be no contest. You want to see the Lakers play the Pelicans? The Pelicans ain't got nobody. Nobody at all. Nobody. Yeah, you got some young talent, but you don't have nobody that's up to an AD or a LeBron. No. But a Lakers, Clippers, for the first time, both teams have 2 All-Stars. Both teams have players that will probably represent the country in the next Olympic Games. Oh, yeah, I'm here for it. 100%. I am here for that. Best believe. So I'm looking forward to it. Kawhi to the Clippers, I like it. And I believe when Kawhi when Kawhi made his decision to go to the Clippers, to leave Toronto, to go to the Clippers and to forsake the Lakers, he said, ha, I got y'all. I get the last laugh. And I could think to myself, Kawhi left saying, ha. Last week, I ended up giving 5 observations going into NBA free agency. Well, this week I have another list. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of lists. Maybe that will grow on me down the road. But I do have another list, 5 observations so far throughout free agency. Now, not every free agent has been signed. There are some out there that will be signed eventually. But for the most part, most of the bigger names, most of the second tier guys have already been signed. As we have seen, the Lakers have signed a lot of older guys to very, 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 very small contracts. Because that's all they have room for after giving Danny Green $30 million. I'm still baffled by that one. Well, here we go. 5 observations so far after one full week in the free agency. Number 1, the NBA does not need the Lakers and the Knicks to be good teams to be healthy. The Lakers and Knicks have missed the playoffs. Each missed the playoffs the past 6 years. Yes, the last time both teams made the playoffs was in 2013. And I do believe since that time period, the NBA has gotten more and more popular. Now, you may say, well, the ratings this year for the finals were down. One team was in a different country. Their TV ratings didn't match and didn't work, weren't reported to us, and we weren't utilizing the ratings we used. So even if the whole country of Canada watched, that wasn't credited to us. So you're missing one entire fan base. There may have been NBA fans that said, well, I'm more of a casual fan, and the Raptors are the Raptors. I don't want to watch them. So maybe they just didn't. A lot of fans here maybe didn't tune in because one whole fan base was out. But the Lakers have been trash for a while. The Knicks have been trash for a while, and it seems like the NBA keeps getting more and more popular. Now, there is some weird narrative that the NBA needs a team in LA and a team in New York and a team in New York to be good. Not just a team, but those teams, the Knicks and the Lakers. Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds good on the surface. When you get down to it and start looking into the details of each team and how the league is currently, it's more popular now than it has been than it was 5 or even 10 years ago. Parity. Number 2, parity is a word that can describe the league right now. Now, we all say, oh, we want parity. We want parity. We want parity. And at the same time, over the past, 9 years, you may want to say, when it came to the East, everyone knew LeBron, not a team. Everyone knew, for the most part, LeBron was going to the finals. Every single person and that followed the NBA knew that there was a 99% chance LeBron's team was going to the finals. Now in the West, those last 2 years he was in Miami. It was a pretty good guess that the Spurs would get in the finals. Now, previous 5 years, everyone knew that the Warriors were going to be there, and then this year, the East was kind of more open than expected. But for the most part, we knew who was going to be in the finals, and we had a good chance. A good idea of who was going to win before the season even started. Now, this next coming up year, I wrote down a few teams. I got 9. I took the Pacers out because Oladipo's injury may hinder them from being a contender. I have seen Sportsline say that the Pacers are have the second best odds to win the Eastern Conference. I don't know. I don't see that. Someone asked me over the weekend, "Hey Jay, where do you think the Pacers will be?" As I do live in Indiana, I said, there'll be a playoff team. I don't know how far they'll go, but there'll be a playoff team. Well, apparently, some people think that I'm wrong, but in the East, these are all contenders to win. The East, we got the Bucks, the Raptors, the Sixers, and the Celtics. The West, I just wrote down 5: the Rockets, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Jazz, and the Warriors. Now, you could say the Warriors lose Clay. Yeah, bring back Clay mid-season. See what happens. We all see when Clay had that hamstring injury in the finals, it didn't hinder him from having one of his historic game sixes before he got hurt and tore his ACL. Those are just 9 teams. Now, think back in your life, or think back in your time as being a sports fan. Give me the last time, or let me know the last time you could think of more than 2 teams, one from each conference, that would have a chance to win the NBA Finals, and this is before the season started. We are in July. Now, granted, we get closer, and when we get to September and October, that list could be down to 4 or 5 teams. That list could be 9 or 10. But the NBA is normally not known for the parity that we're going to be seeing, but I do believe that is going to be something to characterize this upcoming season. Number 3, the amount of money that was given out this year versus last year is crazy. The first day of free agency this year, 2019, $2.9 billion with the B dollars were agreed upon by teams and players. Let me read that again. $2.9 billion with the B dollars were agreed upon between teams and players. That's just on the first day. Just on the first day. Now, granted, that number has grown up to over $3 million total, which is expected when you got 2.9 in the first day. Last year, the total, $2.1 billion total in 2018 free agency. This TV money, the salary cap keeps going up, and these players keep getting paid. I want to highlight one, Tobias Harris, 5 years, 5 years of $180 million. I don't think he is worth that much money. But if a team's going to pay you that kind of money, young man, go get your money. And I do believe that there will be more players like Tobias Harris. Maybe that and even this year, maybe they're not worth that top dollar, but they see their team sees value in them there, and they pay them more than what someone else is going to pay them. Hey, if someone wants to pay you a lot more than somebody else, and you feel right taking that money, by all means, go get paid. Number 4, are the Raptors going to be a one-hit wonder? Kawhi to the Clippers. Right now, the only all-star you may want to say on, I'm not going to say star because I don't view him as a star, but the only all-star on the Raptors is Kyle Lowry. And we all know he's not going to be a player that can lead a team to a championship. I mean, my goodness, his numbers may inflate a tad, but they need somebody else. He's not a leader. He's not going to be a focal point, your go-to player where you need a bucket or where you need to stop on defense. No. He's not that kind of guy. He's not that guy at all. And he has shown year after year after year after year he'll get in an all-star game. I mean, he may be a top 10 point guard, just because I haven't put a list together. But he may be a top 10 point guard in the NBA, but he's not a guy that I would want leading, being the go-to or being the leader of my team. And then number 5, I am here for Lakers Clippers on Christmas Day. Yes, Lakers Clippers on Christmas Day. Not sure if it's going to be a thing, but if it is, I'm here for it. I saw on Twitter today, someone ended up saying, here's the Christmas Day matchups. Lakers and Pelicans. That ain't sexy. Oh, here's another one. Clippers and Thunder. Once again, that ain't sexy. You want Russ to go up against 3 wing defenders and Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Patrick Beverly? Excuse me, that's no. That's not sexy. Oh, you want LeBron James and Anthony Davis to go up against the young talent of the Pelicans? Once again, that's no contest. That's not sexy. I am looking for sexy, competitive matchups on Christmas, and Lakers, Clippers, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. I am here for that type of matchup on Christmas Day. And I'm not here to say, hey, let's make this matchup at 10:30, make it the late game of the night. No. Don't try and boost your ratings that way. Make it where everybody's awake, where the older generation and the younger can all watch it together and say, hey, this is what the NBA currently is. These are 2 of the better teams in the league. Let's watch this matchup. And then let's go our separate ways and call it a day. 5 observations. 1 week out of at the end of NBA free agency. I'm looking forward to the next season. I may there will be a real good chance we'll be going over some more lists coming up over the next few weeks, as this is the time of year that lists do come out, with it being a down period. Wimbledon is on, and a lot of NFL guys are getting bored, so they're putting lists together. Sure, some NBA lists will be coming out soon. I had fun with this NBA season. Looking forward to what's going to be coming on down the road, but we may see more lists here in the near future. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Jay Stevens Podcast. Remember to always subscribe, rate, and review. It helps people when they're searching for different podcasts to listen to come across this one. And then also remember to get the word out about the podcast via word of mouth. If we like something, we're more willing and somewhat wired to tell other people about it, to tell other people about the things that we enjoy. So no matter if this was your first episode or you've been listening since episode 1, be sure to let people know about the podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Dr_J25. Once again, that is at Dr_JAY, the number 2 and the number 5. You can send all emails to jstevenspod@gmail.com. Once again, that's jstevenspod@gmail.com. I'm looking forward. Hope everyone's having a fun, exciting, hot summer, as it's been very, very hot here in Indiana. Before you know it, those of you that have kids, your kids will be going back to school here shortly. Here in Indiana, they moved. When I was in school, we started the middle of August. Now these kids start in July. Still kind of confused on all that, on why you would change that up. Although we had a good system back then, but I'm not the one running the school system. Those in charge of making the right decisions or good decisions to help the young people in America. Once again, this is episode 9 of the Jay Stevens Podcast. I'll see you next time.